What if I told you that in just 1 year, you could completely transform your life? It sounds crazy, right? Like something out of a movie. But I'm standing here today to tell you it is 100% possible. This time last year, I felt stuck, uninspired, and honestly, a little lost. I was scrolling through life, just going through the motions. But I decided to make a change. I didn't win the lottery or discover some hidden secret. I just committed to 10 simple, powerful habits. These aren't complicated, they don't cost any money, and anyone, I mean anyone, can start doing them today. These 10 habits literally reshaped my entire world. They took me from feeling drained and unfocused to being more energized, productive, and happier than I have ever been. It's like I unlocked a new level in the game of life. And because this transformation was so profound, I knew I had to share it. I'm going to break down every single habit step by step, showing you exactly what I did and the incredible impact it had. So if you're ready to make this next year your best year ever, you're in the right place. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a complete blueprint to build a better you. We're not just talking about change, we're going to make it happen together. This is the ultimate guide to transforming your life, and it starts right now. Let's get into it. The very first thing I did, the habit that started it all, was morning journaling. I know, you might be thinking, journaling? How is writing in a notebook going to change anything? I thought the same thing, but I committed to just 5 minutes every single morning before I even looked at my phone. I'd wake up, grab a simple notebook and a pen, and just write. Some days I wrote about my dreams, other days my worries, and sometimes just a random thought that popped into my head. It wasn't about writing a masterpiece, it was about clearing the mental clutter. It was like a conversation with myself, a way to check in and see how I was really doing. This simple act of putting pen to paper set the tone for my entire day. Instead of waking up and immediately being bombarded by emails, notifications, and the stress of the world, I started my day with intention. It allowed me to process my thoughts and emotions before the day could throw its own challenges at me. It became my personal strategy session. I would reflect on the previous day, set a clear intention for the one ahead, and ground myself in my own priorities. This tiny 5-minute ritual gave me a sense of control and clarity that I carried with me from the moment I closed the notebook. It was a game changer. The second habit was all about movement. I committed to daily exercise, and I'm not talking about spending 2 hours in the gym every day. For me, it started with a simple 20-minute walk outside. The key wasn't the intensity, it was the consistency. Rain or shine, tired or energized, I made sure I moved my body every single day. Some days it was a walk, other days a quick home workout I found online, and sometimes it was just dancing around my living room to my favorite music. The goal was simply to get my blood flowing and break the sedentary cycle of modern life. It was about proving to myself that I could keep a promise. The effect this had on my energy levels was insane. Before, I'd hit that 2 p.m. slump and feel like I needed a nap just to function. But once I started exercising consistently, that afternoon fog completely disappeared. My focus became sharper, my thinking clearer, and my overall mood improved dramatically. It was like I had tapped into a new power source. Exercise became less of a chore and more of a reward. It was my time to disconnect from work, listen to a podcast or music, and just be present. This habit didn't just change my body, it rewired my brain for focus and positivity. Habit number 3 is one of my absolute favorites, reading for 20 minutes every single day. In a world of endless scrolling and short-form content, I decided to intentionally slow down and consume something with depth. I picked up books on topics I was curious about, biographies, science, self-improvement, even fiction. It didn't matter what the book was, as long as I was learning something new or exploring a different world. I made it a non-negotiable part of my day, usually fitting it in during my lunch break or right after my morning journaling session. It became a small, quiet rebellion against the noise of the internet. The cumulative effect of this was mind-blowing. After a few weeks, I felt my vocabulary expanding and my ability to articulate my thoughts improving. I was bringing new ideas and perspectives into my conversations and my work. It was like I was giving my brain a daily upgrade. Reading became an escape, a source of inspiration, and a powerful tool for personal growth. 20 minutes a day doesn't sound like much, but over a year, that adds up to over 120 hours of focused learning. This habit proved to me that small, consistent investments in yourself yield the biggest returns. This next habit might be the most challenging for some, but it had one of the biggest impacts on my mental health: a digital detox every evening. About an hour or two before I planned to go to sleep, I would put my phone, laptop, and tablet away, completely away in another room so I wasn't tempted. The first few nights were tough. I felt that phantom buzz in my pocket and the urge to just check one more thing. But I pushed through, replacing screen time with other activities. I would read, listen to calm music, talk with my family, or just stretch. The goal was to allow my brain to wind down naturally, without the constant stimulation of blue light and endless information. The results were incredible. My sleep quality improved almost immediately. I was falling asleep faster and waking up feeling genuinely rested, not groggy. More importantly, my evenings became a sanctuary of peace. Instead of going to bed with my mind racing from something I saw online, I went to bed calm and relaxed. This habit created a clear boundary between my on time and my off time, reducing my overall anxiety and making my evenings something I truly looked forward to. Habit number 5 is the one that gave me back hours of my week and made healthy eating effortless meal prepping on Sundays. I used to be the king of last-minute food decisions, which usually meant expensive takeout or unhealthy frozen meals because I was too tired to cook after a long day. So I dedicated about 2 hours every Sunday afternoon to planning and preparing my lunches and some dinners for the week ahead. I'd put on some music or a podcast and just get into a rhythm, chopping vegetables, cooking grains, and portioning everything into containers. It wasn't about creating gourmet meals. It was about creating options. This simple routine eliminated the daily stress of what's for dinner. It saved me so much mental energy during the week because the decision was already made. Not only did I eat much healthier, but I also saved a surprising amount of money by not ordering out. My kitchen stayed cleaner during the week, and my evenings were freed up for other things I enjoyed. It felt like I was giving my future self a gift every single Sunday. This habit was a masterclass in how a little bit of planning up front can lead to a massive payoff in time, health, and peace of mind throughout the week. The 6th habit is incredibly simple but profoundly powerful: practicing gratitude. Every single night, right before I went to sleep, as part of my new digital-free evening routine, I would list 3 specific things I was grateful for that day. I kept a small notebook by my bed just for this purpose. It couldn't be generic things like "I'm grateful for my family every day." I had to be specific. For example, "I'm grateful for the funny conversation I had with my sister," or "I'm grateful for the way the sun felt on my face during my walk," or even "I'm grateful for the delicious cup of coffee I had this morning." This practice fundamentally shifted my entire mindset. It trained my brain to actively look for the good in my day, instead of dwelling on the frustrations or what went wrong. Even on tough days, I could always find 3 small things. It was a powerful reminder that no matter the challenges, there is always something to be thankful for. Over time, this habit cultivated a deep sense of contentment and optimism. It rewired my default perspective from one of scarcity and stress to one of abundance and appreciation. It's the easiest and cheapest form of therapy I've ever experienced. Okay, habit number 7 is how I turned my big, scary dreams into reality-setting weekly goals. I used to have these huge, long-term ambitions that felt so massive and distant that I never knew where to start. They were honestly intimidating. So every Sunday, along with my meal prep, I would sit down and break down my big goals into small, actionable steps for the week ahead. If my big goal was to launch a new project, a weekly goal might be something like draft the project outline or contact 3 potential collaborators. I wrote down 3 to 5 key weekly goals and put them somewhere I could see them every day, like on a sticky note on my monitor. This process was honestly magical. It demystified my ambitions and turned them into a concrete to-do list. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the mountain I had to climb, I just had to focus on taking the few steps right in front of me that week. Ticking off those weekly goals gave me a constant sense of accomplishment and momentum, proving to myself that I was making real progress. It transformed me from a dreamer into a doer. This system is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, built one week at a time. It's honestly the ultimate strategy for making the impossible feel possible. Habit number 8 brought a level of calm and clarity to my life that I didn't know was possible: meditating for 10 minutes a day. Now, when I first heard about meditation, I pictured someone sitting perfectly still for hours, and it seemed impossible. But I started small. I found a guided meditation app, put on my headphones, and just followed the instructions for 10 minutes. My mind would wander. A lot. I'd think about my to-do list, what I was going to eat for lunch, everything. But the goal wasn't to have an empty mind. It was to practice bringing my focus back to my breath, over and over again. It was like doing a bicep curl for my brain's focus muscle. Over time, that muscle got stronger. I started to notice the benefits outside of those 10 minutes. When I felt stressed or overwhelmed during the day, I had a new tool. I could take a few deep breaths and recenter myself, just like I practiced in my meditation. It created a small pocket of space between a stressful event and my reaction to it. This habit didn't remove the chaos from my life, but it gave me an inner anchor of calm to navigate it with. 10 minutes of silence became my daily superpower for maintaining peace of mind. This next habit is probably the most obvious, yet it's the one most of us neglect: prioritizing sleep. For years, I wore sleep deprivation like a badge of honor. I thought hustle culture meant surviving on 5 hours of sleep and tons of caffeine. I was completely wrong. I made a conscious and deliberate decision to make sleep a top priority. This meant setting a strict bedtime and sticking to it, even on weekends. I aimed for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every single night. This wasn't just about going to bed earlier. It was about creating a whole routine that supported good sleep, which included my digital detox habit. The difference was night and day, literally. Getting enough sleep transformed me. My ability to solve problems, my creativity, my mood, and my physical energy all skyrocketed. I was a better version of myself in every single way. I stopped making silly mistakes at work, I had more patience in my relationships, and my workouts felt more effective. We live in a society that glorifies being busy, but I learned that true productivity and performance don't come from working more hours. They come from being fully rested and recovered. Prioritizing sleep is the ultimate life hack for performing at your best. The 10th and final habit is the one that ties everything else together and gives it all meaning: intentionally connecting with loved ones. In the rush of trying to improve myself, I realized I could easily become isolated. So, I made it a habit to proactively and regularly connect with the people who matter most to me. This wasn't just about sending a quick text. It meant scheduling a weekly phone call with my parents, setting up a recurring coffee date with a close friend, or making sure I had dedicated phone-free time with my partner every evening. It was about being present and truly listening. This practice was the antidote to loneliness. It filled my life with support, laughter, and a profound sense of belonging. It reminded me that while self-improvement is important, life is ultimately about shared experiences and relationships. These connections were my support system. They celebrated my wins with me and picked me up when I stumbled. All the other habits made me a better person, but this habit made my life richer and more meaningful. It was the crucial reminder that the ultimate goal of becoming your best self is to be able to show up as your best self for the people you love. So, those are the 10 habits that completely changed my life. We went through morning journaling, daily exercise, reading, digital detoxes, meal prepping, gratitude, weekly goals, meditation, prioritizing sleep, and connecting with loved ones. It seems like a lot, but remember, I didn't start them all at once. I started with one, and once it became a part of my routine, I added another. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every single one of these habits is a building block for a better, happier, and more successful life. You have the blueprint now. And because I know these work, I want to challenge every single one of you watching this. Don't try to do all 10 tomorrow, just pick one. Just one habit from this list that resonates with you the most and commit to doing it for the next 30 days. That's it. If you do, I want you to comment down below right now which habit you're choosing. I'm going to be reading all the comments and cheering you on. Imagine what could happen if we all started building a better version of ourselves, one habit at a time. This isn't just a video, it's the start of a movement. Your transformation starts today. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, make sure you subscribe because we are just getting started on this journey together. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Now go pick your habit and start building your best year ever. See you in the next video.